Well, hello Planeswalkers, and welcome back to Magic Gamer 74. I'm your host, Anthony Gamer. And today we're going to talk about great cards from the Fallen Empires expansion. Now, the Fallen Empires expansion is not very popular, especially not for collectors, because the entire set itself is only worth right around $108, and there are 187 cards in the set, so that's less than $1 for each card on average. It was released in November of 1994, and because the cards themselves are not that valuable, this is a great set if you'd like to get a complete set. This and the next one we'll talk about. So, with that in mind, some people may think that there's not a lot of great cards in this expansion. Now, when I first made this list, the list for this, there were a lot of cards I excluded. But one of the things about Magic the Gathering is that sometimes you got to look over a set again because you're probably going to miss something. And I did. I mean, there are some cards that I readily use from this expansion, such as Goblin Warrens. Put that right up there where you can see that. I'm sure any of you that have a Goblin deck, you got to have that in your deck. But there's some other great cards in this expansion as well, which we will cover. And we'll be able to cover in one episode. It won't be as long as the last Legends. I know that one was kind of long, but and there are some bigger expansions out there that are going to take more episodes than just one. But before we get started, don't forget to read the disclaimer down there. It'll save both of us a lot of headaches. And there's the phone. Just go ahead and ignore that. So, without further ado, let's get into the cards.
Alright, so let's start off with white. And our first card is Pharrell's Mantle. This enchantment casts for 2 colorless and 1 white. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks and isn't blocked, its controller may have it deal damage equal to its power plus 2 to another target creature. If that player does, the attacking creature assigns no combat damage this turn. Now that is a cool card, especially if you're playing against somebody who has creature love. This card is not very expensive like most of the cards in this set, and it will run you 20 cents. Another thing I forgot to mention is several of the cards in this set have more than one version or more than one artwork. This card, Pharrell Zealot, actually has 3. I'm just showing you one of them. This creature casts for 1 white and 1 colorless, 2 white. It's a 2/2. Whenever Pharrell's Zealot attacks and isn't blocked, you may have it deal 3 damage to target creature. If you do, Pharrell's Zealot assigns no combat damage this turn. Pretty cool. Again, another card to hit somebody with that has creature love. This card is not too expensive. This particular version is worth 18 cents. The B version is 17 and the C is 12. Alright, next up we have Ikatian Infantry, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I really like 1/1 creatures that cast for 1. This one had 4 different versions of it. Tap 1 colorless. Acacian Infantry gains first strike until end of turn. Tap 1. Acacian Infantry gains banding until end of turn. You know, banding is something that is long gone because most people didn't understand it. So if you like to add this card to your collection, this one is worth 19 cents. B is 15, C is 18, and D is 13. All right, and the next one we have is Acacian, Javeliers. Javelineers, yeah. To save time, because there's not really a big difference between the cards price-wise, I'm just going to say the particular one I got, and this one is A. This 1/1 creature casts for 1 white. Acacian Javelineers enters the battlefield with a javelin counter on it. Tap, remove a javelin counter from Acacian Javelineers. It deals 1 damage to any target. This card is worth 24 cents, and it has been reprinted. All right, and next up we have Acacian Money Changer. Okay, now this card got 3 versions. This creature is a 0/2. It casts for 1 white. Acacian Money Changer enters the battlefield with 3 credit counters on it. When Occasion Money Changer enters the battlefield, it does 3 damage to you. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a credit counter on Occasion Money Changer. Sacrifice Occasion Money Changer. You gain 1 life for each credit counter on Occasion Money Changer. Activate only during your upkeep. So if you'd like to add this little card to your collection, it will run you right around 14 cents. Okay, another thing to keep in mind is quite a few of the cards from this expansion were not reprinted. If they were, I'll let you know. Another thing to keep in mind. Okay, next up we have Occasion Priest. This 1/1 creature casts for 1 white. Its fast effect is 1 colorless, 2 white. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, this card is worth 18 cents and was reprinted twice. Alright, and next up we have Occasion Scout. This one was printed also actually 4 times. This 1/1 creature casts for 1 white. Tap 1, tap it. Target creature gains first strike until end of turn. So quite a few pretty cool little 1/1 creatures here. If you'd like to add this one to your collection, it's worth 23 cents, and it was reprinted 1 time. Okay, and our final white card is Order of Lightbur. Alright, this knight, this creature casts for 2 white. It has protection from black. Tap 1 white. Order of Lightbur gains first strike until end of turn. Tap 2 white. Order of Lightbur gets +1/+0 until end of turn. This creature was actually printed 3 times. There's 3 different versions, and it's worth 24 cents. And it was reprinted 1 more time. Alright, I only found 3 blue cards that I really liked. First one is High Tide. This instant casts for 1 blue. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds an additional blue. So 2 for 1 at that particular moment. Pretty cool. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $1.65, and it was reprinted a couple times. Okay, and our next card here is Mercine. It is an enchantment that casts for 2 colorless and 2 blue. Enchant creature. Mercine enters the battlefield with 3 net counters on it. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step if Mercine has a net counter on it. Pay enchanted creature's mana cost. Remove a net counter from Mercine. Only the controller of the enchanted creature may activate this ability. Oh yeah, this is good, especially against one of those really big creatures. Even though it's got kind of a high casting cost, it's worth it. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it is worth 14 cents. And our final blue card for today, and this is one I used to love to play in my mono blue deck. This is Valdalian Mage. She casts for 2 colorless and 1 blue. Her fast effect is tap 1 blue, tap her, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. A 1/1 creature, but that has really come in handy a couple times. If you'd like to add her to your collection, she will run you 19 cents. Alright, and now we move into black. There's quite a few blacks that I like. Alright, the first one is Armor Thrall. This is a creature that's exclusive to this set. Armor Thrall, 2 colorless and 1 black. It's a 1/3. Tap, sacrifice Armor Thrall, put a +1/+2 counter on target creature. Pretty cool. There were 4 different varieties of this one, and it's worth around 25 cents. Alright, next we have Basil Thrall. I really like this picture. That thing looks really funky. It is a creature that casts for 2 black. Tap, sacrifice Basil Thrall, add 2 black. So technically you're getting 2 black for free if you want to. It's a 1/2 creature. There are 4 varieties of it, and it's worth right around 15 cents. Alright, and the next card is Hymn to Torax. So we're skipping ahead a little bit here. Alright, this sorcery costs you 2 black. Target player discards 2 cards at random. Nice. And if you'd like to add this card or one of its 4 varieties to your collection, it will cost you around 62 cents, and it has been reprinted. Alright, and next up we have Initiates of the Ebon Hand. 1/1 for 1. Tap 1, add 1 black. If this ability has been activated 4 or more times this turn, sacrifice initiates of the Ebon Hand at the beginning of the next step. So you're basically tapping a land to get probably the color you already have. Like I said, it's a 1/1 for 1. This card will cost you around 30 cents. There are 3 different varieties, and it was reprinted once. All right, and next up we have Mind Stab Thrall. Okay, this funky-looking creature is a 2/2. It casts for 1 colorless and 2 black. Whenever a Mind Stab Thrall attacks and isn't blocked, you may sacrifice it. If you do, defending player discards 3 cards. Nice. There are 3 varieties of this card, and it's worth around 21 cents and was reprinted in 5th edition. All right, and next up we have Neckrite. It's another Thrall. It casts for 1 colorless and 2 black. It's a 2/2. Whenever Neckrite attacks and isn't blocked, you may sacrifice it. If you do, destroy target creature defending player controls. It cannot be regenerated. Nice. There are 3 varieties of this card. It's worth around 22 cents and was reprinted 1 time. All right, and next up we have Order of the Ebon Hand. There are 3 varieties of this. It's a 2/1 cleric. It casts for 2 black. Has protection from white. Tap 1 black. Order of the Ebon Hand gains first strike until end of turn. Tap 2 black. Order of the Ebon Hand gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it's right around 20 cents, and it has been reprinted. All right, and next up we have Soul Exchange. Ugh, boy, what a beautiful picture. This is a sorcery that casts for 2 black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature you control. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +2/+2 counter on that creature if the exiled creature was a Thrall. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you 75 cents. And our final black card for today is Thrall Retainer. Boy, that's a gruesome picture there. All right, it casts for 1 black. It's an enchantment. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Sacrifice Thrall Retainer. Regenerate enchanted creature. And if you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you 19 cents, and it was reprinted once. All right, and now we're moving into red. So there's quite a few good ones in this color. First one is Dwarven Armor. He casts for 1 red. He's a 0/2. Tap 1 red, tap it, discard a card. Put a +0/+1 counter or a +1/+0 counter on target creature. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $2.84. All right, and next up we have Dwarven Catapult. This instant casts for X colorless and 1 red. Dwarven Catapult deals X damage divided evenly, rounded down among all creatures target opponent controls. Yep, you got a land at your disposal. Wipe out their creatures. This card will cost you 20 cents, and it has been reprinted. All right, now we move into the Goblin cards for those of you like myself that love to make Goblin decks. First one is Goblin Surgeon. It casts for 1 red. It's a 0/2. Sacrifice a Goblin. Regenerate target creature. There are 3 varieties of this card, and if you'd like to add it to your collection, it will cost you right around $1. All right, and next we have Goblin Grenade. This casts for 1 red. It's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a Goblin. Goblin Grenade deals 5 damage to any target. And again, if you've got your Goblin deck created right, you should have a lot of Goblins at your disposal. This card is quite inexpensive. It's worth 33 cents. There were 3 versions of it, and it has been reprinted several times. And next up we have Goblin War Drums. This enchantment casts for 2 white, 2 colorless, and 1 red. Creatures you control have menace. Now, if you'd like to add this card to your collection, there are 4 different varieties, and it has been reprinted a couple times. And now we come to the best card in this entire expansion, and that is Goblin Warrens, a card that anyone who has a Goblin deck must put into their deck. This enchantment casts for 2 colorless and 1 red. Tap 2 colorless, 1 red, sacrifice 2 goblins, create 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Yeah. If you'd like to add this to your goblin deck, it will cost you $1.37, and it has been reprinted a few times. Okay, now we move on to the color green, and our first one here is Elvish Scout. Ooh, what a picture. Anyway, this 1/1 creature casts for 1 green. Tap 1 green, tap it. Untap target attacking creature you control. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by it this turn. Kind of a good move in case it's going to be attacking or blocking something too big for it. There are 3 varieties of this card, and it's worth around 25 cents. Okay, and next up we have Night Soil. This enchantment casts for 2 green. Tap 1 colorless, exile 2 creature cards from a single graveyard. Create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. If you would like to add this card to your collection, there are 3 different varieties, and it's worth 22 cents. Alright, and next up we have Spore Flower. This creature casts for 2 green. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Spore Flower. Remove 3 spore counters from Spore Flower. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Okay. This card is not going to set you back too much. It's worth 37 cents. Okay, and next up we have Thallid. This 1/1 creature casts for 1 green. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thallid. Remove 3 spore counters from Thallid. Create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will run you 19 cents. There are 4 different varieties, and it has been reprinted a couple times. All right, and our next card is Thallid Devourer. Yuck. Okay, this creature, which is a 2/2, casts for 1 colorless and 2 green. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thallid Devourer. Remove 3 spore counters from Thallid Devourer. Create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. Sacrifice a sapperling. Thallid Devourer gets +1/+2 until end of turn. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you 49 cents. And our final green card for today is Thorn Thallid. This 2/2 creature casts for 1 colorless and 2 green. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thorn Thallid. Remove 3 spore counters from Thorn Thallid. It deals 1 damage to any target. There are 4 varieties of this card, and if you'd like to add it to your collection, it will cost you 25 cents. Okay, now we move on to artifacts, and our first one today is Aeolipile. All right. This artifact casts for 2. Tap 1, tap it, sacrifice Aeolipile. It deals 2 damage to any target. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $2.23, and it was reprinted once. All right, and next up we have Balm of Restoration. This kind of sounds like something you would see on an infomercial late at night. It casts for 2. This artifact, tap 1, tap it, sacrifice Balm of Restoration. Choose 1. You gain 2 life. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to any target this turn. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it will cost you 70 cents. All right, and our next card is called Delif's Cone. It casts for 0. Tap, sacrifice Delif's Cone. This turn, when target creature you control attacks and isn't blocked, you may gain life equal to its power. If you do, it assigns no combat damage this turn. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it will cost you 23 cents. All right, and next up we have Elven Liar. Oof, boy. I would definitely sit through a concert with her playing, that's for sure. This casts for 2. Tap 1, tap it, sacrifice Elven Liar. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $1. Okay, and our final artifact for today is Implements of Sacrifice. Ugh, that woman does not look like someone you want to make mad. It casts for 2, tap 1, tap it, sacrifice Implements of Sacrifice. Add 2 mana of any one color. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it will cost you 68 cents. All right, and finally we get into the lands. Now, the lands in this expansion, most of them are what you would call like counter lands. The first one is Bottomless Vault. Bottomless Vault enters the battlefield tapped. You may choose not to untap Bottomless Vault during your untap step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Bottomless Vault is tapped, put a storage counter on it. Tap, remove any number of storage counters from Bottomless Vault. Add 1 black for each storage counter removed this way. Okay, if you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $1.64, and it was reprinted 1 time. Okay, and next up we have Dwarven Hold. It does the same thing as the previous card except with red mana. And if you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you $1.83, and it was reprinted 1 time. All right, and next up we have Hollow Trees. It does the same thing as the previous 2 cards, except for with green mana. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it will cost you 65 cents, and it was reprinted 1 time. All right, and next we have Vacation Store. This does the same as the previous cards, except for with white mana. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you 57 cents, and it was reprinted once. Next up, we have a very interesting card, and that is Rainbow Veil. This land, tap it, add 1 mana of any color. An opponent gains control of Rainbow Veil at the beginning of the next end step. So this is a card that kind of works its way around. And if you'd like to add this card to your collection, it's a little on the expensive side. It will cost you $8. And our final card for today is Sand Silos. This is another one of those counter lands, but for blue. If you'd like to add this card to your collection, it will cost you 82 cents, and it was reprinted once. And that wraps up this episode of Magic Gamer 74. In our next episode, we're going to be discussing Homelands, another inexpensive expansion that does have some pretty cool cards in it. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when I upload new episodes. Game with me on the arena, if you dare. I know I've probably met some of you out there, and we have a lot of fun, so hope to see you out there. Well, until next time, Planeswalkers, I will see you in the arena. Take care. Bye for now.